Hey there, hi there, ho there. I know I'm appearing on your podcast feed 3 times in 1 week now. I just wanted to give you a sense and release this out to you. This is what John Patronizes You kind of sounds like. This one was actually a little bit longer. It's the third one that I've done. Of course, the other two are available on the Patreon page. So you can go to johndulong.com/Patreon. Pledge as little as $1 a month, and you'll get access to this sort of preview show that I'm doing every single week. And I usually do that somewhere between Wednesday and Friday, and it's a little bit more off the cuff than the main show is. Main show, I try and watch what I'm saying a little bit anyhow. I try and make sure that I'm not completely rambling, which I know you're probably listening to this now and saying, am I listening to the same podcast that you think you're putting out, John? But I just wanted to give a little taste to the main feed here so that you'd have a sense of what this show sounds like if you were curious and you wanted to maybe sign up for Patreon. So again, johndulong.com/Patreon. Here's John Patronizes You. Hey there, John Patronizes You, episode number 3. Something that I apparently keep on forgetting to do on time. I always intend to do them on Wednesdays, but it seems like I've only hit that once. So here we are. It's bonus content. What do you want from me? It's bonus content for patrons I don't yet have. Which is fine. Like, I mean, I'm cool to just sort of hang out. I think eventually somebody's going to want to donate to the show, and if you have donated to the show and you're listening to this back catalog type of deal, thank you so much for joining me. This is I guess the test. I always say that I say to people when they ask me, I would keep on doing the John Dulong show even if I didn't have regular listeners. And my listenership isn't exactly where I want it to be right now, but I'm happy to do it, and it's a hobby that I absolutely love doing, and I've really been enjoying as I've been going along. A lot of great feedback from the episode with Kareem this past Monday, and then of course put out the bonus episode as well when the announcement came through that Daniel Bryan was coming back to an active competition in the WWE. I'm going to cover that on Monday's episode in a little bit more force, but like God, his speech on this week's episode of SmackDown this past Tuesday was beautiful and was probably like a good half of the induction video for when he eventually goes into the WWE Hall of Fame, because you got to think he's an absolute lock just in terms of what he's meant to the business for the past. Certainly, he's meant to the WWE for the past I guess 6 or 7 years, and certainly just the reactions that he's been getting and the fact, like, man, he is the definition of a white meat babyface in a lot of ways. Like, he is just. I always say that, like, in wrestling, you want to have a babyface that people believe in. You want to have a babyface. Your top of the card people are either going to be somebody that people can get behind because they see themselves. Somebody who taps into the zeitgeist, or somebody that they themselves want to be. And sort of the archetypes of that, to a certain extent, are like, the baby face that they sort of see themselves in. I would say is, like, to a certain extent, sort of your Hulk Hogan type model. He was the real American. He's the type of person that, like, he was obviously larger than life. And he was always sort of the best of people, but like he's this overemphasized version of it. But he's the real American, and he tapped into that sort of sentimentality. The wrestler who tapped into the zeitgeist the best, as far as I'm concerned, Stone Cold Steve Austin. He tapped into sort of that anti-corporate mode that was in the late '90s. He was the blue collar, beer swilling, badass redneck, and then the guy that the fans wish they could be. That's The Rock. So cool, and just like wearing the $6,000 shirts and whatever. Like, Daniel Bryan is kind of all of those guys at once. He's the underdog that people can get behind. He's the person that taps into the zeitgeist, sort of against the small man, against the authority, and he's also somebody that people wish that they were. I think because he's just so damn good. So really excited to see him back, and a lot of really great physicality at the end of the show there. But like I said, I'll get into that a little bit more on Monday. What else is going on? It's Burger Week here in Halifax. I'm going to talk about that on Monday. I'm actually probably going to do a couple burger reviews on the air because I love Burger Week so much. It's become like a really big deal for me, like emotionally, I guess, over the last like 4 years. Just absolutely love going out for Burger Week. They do, specialty burgers for the week here in Halifax, and a lot of the different burgers donate a portion of their profits to Feed Nova Scotia, which of course helps out people who are not secure in where they're going to have their next meal. So it's charitable, and I get to eat a bunch of cool burgers, which I'm really excited about. Hey, what else is going on? I guess that's really it. Like, it's kind of had some shitty weather here in Halifax, so kind of digging out from that a little bit. Looking forward to I'm taking a trip down to and I guess up, or however you want to define north, to Prince Edward Island in a couple weeks. With the girlfriend. It's our anniversary, so we're going to go for a little trip out of province for a weekend, and I don't know what I'm going to do for that week's episode. I've got an interview in the can. Chatted with Kyle Racky this past week, and he's founder CEO over at Proposify, and had a good chat with him for about 20 minutes. But that's only about 20 minutes of an hour-long episode, so I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll find out. We'll see. We'll figure out what's going on with the rest of that show. Yeah, look at that. We're getting to the end of what John Patronizes You normally runs. So I guess that'll be it for this little... I guess this show is becoming more of like a preview show more than anything else of things that I'm planning on talking about. There's one other thing though that you should look forward to if you happen to be hearing the sound of my voice right now. Everything is going really well with me and the girlfriend. Like I said, we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary, but I'm going on a particular dating site for the good of the show, and we're gonna see how that goes. It's gonna be a fun segment on Monday, so we'll see you then.